It's time for Ninja Reacts, the thing that I've never do. Oh my god, here we go. Can you beat Elden Ring at level 1 without being good? Oh my god, it's 23 minutes. You gotta be kidding me. Who put this on here? Lordy? Yeah, I knew it.
Can you beat Elden Ring at level 1? The
I can't turn ads off.
Yes.
Can't.
I've been doing these sorts of challenges for years with every FromSoft game. Hell,
what happened? I thought you had a subscription.
Or on a dance pad, or with literal bananas. But see, these people are all god gamers. They're really, really good. I, however, am not. You will not catch me beating these games with a Ring Fit controller. That's where I think this gets interesting.
A Ring Fit controller?
Ring at level 1. If I took advantage of every tool, tactic, glitch, and exploit, could I do it? That's what I wanted to answer, and that's what this video is about. So for the next however many minutes, I'll walk you through the journey of my no leveling run in Elden Ring. First, I chose the Deprived class, since, in case you weren't aware, this is the only class that starts at level 1. As you can see, this gives me 10 in each stat across the board. This is a problem because Elden Ring has lots of stat requirements for weapons and spells, so this immediately limits my options. Then I designed my character. Oh,
we were doing Fortnite and we were gonna do Apex. I ran out when Kyle got his gifted. Oh.
Died to the tutorial boss, arrived in the grave, and then made a beeline to this side of Grace to get my horse. From there, I ran straight to Caelid to get Radagon's
Hello, Carmen.
From Fort Feroth.
Radagon's
get it by climbing this ladder, dropping down this hole, and then doing a bit of platforming past some rats. With this talisman, I get +5 to Vigor, Endurance, Strength, and Dexterity, at the cost of my defenses being lowered a bit. 20 free stat points on a level 1 character is incredibly worth it though.
Okay.
And I don't think I ever took this off for the entire run. After collecting that, it was time to get a proper weapon. I'd watched a couple speedruns of this game, and I knew how strong Hoarfrost Stomp could be, so getting that was my next priority.
I thought, yeah, it's nerfed, okay.
Castle and into Liurnia by taking the side path to the right of the castle. From there, I just rode north to this point on the map to get the Ice Rind Hatchet. And then I rode a bit farther north to kill an invisible scarab next to the Caria Manor. The hatchet has the Hoarfrost Stomp skill built in, but the Ash of War lets me put it on any weapon, so I grabbed both to have options.
Damn.
As you can see, even on an unupgraded weapon, this skill is stupidly strong and has a relatively low
Damn, look at
Not only does
that.
it do ice damage, but it also inflicts frostbite. This does a huge chunk of damage, kind of like bleed, in addition to reducing the enemy's defenses. I opted to put this on an Uchigatana I got from some nearby catacombs, so I could have both bleed and cold on the same weapon. I was doing
Tell Pudmom I said hi. Carmen says hi.
Even upgrade my weapon at this
She
point.
says hey.
Straight to the first major boss.
Like always.
Margit. Margit was actually pretty easy. I used the stomp move a little, but for the most part, I just fought him straight up and dodged a lot. I tried using this fight as an opportunity to warm up rather than just steamrolling him via weapon upgrades. I got him on my 3rd try. Not really much to say yet as far as boss strategy and analysis goes, but you'll see more of that as the bosses ramp up in difficulty. With Margit dead, I got a talisman pouch and thus access to a 2nd talisman slot. Assuming ice stomping would be a staple for the rest of my playthrough, there was one early talisman that could help out with that, but it required me to make a sacrifice.
What, he had to kill him? No!
I'm sorry. Back to Stormvale. Godric,
you monster!
And I began running over to him. By the way, running past enemies is how I handled pretty much every on-foot section of the game. If you're familiar with the level layouts, this is fairly easy to do, so I won't be detailing these sections.
Good point.
You might also be wondering why I'm wearing no armor, since this wasn't part of the challenge, and all it does is increase the odds that I'll get one-shot by something. While that is true, I'd like you to consider that wearing no armor equals fun in your video. So, yeah. Anyway, it's time for Godric. Just like Margit, Godric was surprisingly easy, even with an unupgraded weapon, and I also got him on my 3rd try. Aside from just dodging and playing like normal, one thing I noticed is that when he does this roll move, it's good to stay close to him so that the follow-up attack is this easy to dodge aerial attack. If you're too far, he does these homing air attacks that are harder to dodge. But yeah, not a lot to say, he's fairly simple. With Godric dead, I gained his Great Rune, which gave me the ability
to kill him, Lordy! What a monster!
At the cost of a rune arc. This was a huge potential buff, but I didn't want to rely on this since the only renewable source of rune arcs was by farming rats, and that sounded very tedious and annoying. For now though, I powered up. Next, it was on to Rhea Lucaria Academy. I decided to also level up my Ice Rind Hatchet to +5 for extra damage. I went with my axe instead of the Uchigatana since it only took Somber Stones to upgrade the axe, and collecting Somber Stones was a lot easier than collecting the normal stones, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to fully commit to the Uchigatana yet. Anyway, it was time for Sif,
this guy's hard.
Radagon.
Yeah.
Again, not much to say for this one. Attacks didn't one-shot me, and I was
whatever, bro. So he's doing way more damage than I was doing. That wolf was hard as hell.
There was one catch though. I needed 16 dexterity to wield the axe, and I only had 15 with the Radagon talisman. This meant that I needed to have Godric's Great Rune active to meet the dex requirement and use the axe. Burning through all of my rune arcs seemed like a bad idea, so I decided to look for a better solution. And good news, there was one. I could get the prosthesis wearer heirloom from Millicent.
Just finding all the others.
Who
Who is hard? Pawn?
However,
Who?
in order to do this, I needed to kill the boss, Commander O'Neill. I thought about just fighting him straight up, but then I remembered. This video is supposed to be about being clever and showcasing fun strats rather than just normal fights. So instead, I decided to parkour my way up onto the roots above him. From here, I just shot him with poison arrows from safety. I think this is something that some people forget you can do with pretty much every overworld boss. Since there's no real boundaries like a normal boss arena, this is an option. And despite how it trivializes the fight, it's still kind of satisfying because it feels like you're outsmarting the game in a way. After a few minutes, I killed Commander O'Neill.
A few minutes, my ass. That took a long time.
Bringing my dexterity up to 20 so I could use the ice axe without stressing about rune arcs. With that done, I went back to Ray Lucaria to take on Renala. Alright, we're officially in real shit territory.
Yeah, for real. This has got to be hard.
Phase 1
Look at his face.
Because this
Look at
part
his
was just
face.
normal with me hitting the 3 glowing enemies to make Renala fall. And in fact, I did so much damage that I one-cycled her sometimes. But Phase 2. Oh man, Phase 2. So
Yikes.
first off, I would always run at her in the beginning of Phase 2. She does this beam attack that's fairly easy to dodge, and I can get 1 or 2 free hits in. From here though, it's a real pain as she keeps
His
floating
axe
around,
does a
and even
lot of
one misstep
damage,
on my
bro.
part was death. One important trick to note that's not only true for this boss, but most attacks in the game, is that you want to dodge into the attack, not with it. So with these magic orbs that home in on me, I wanted to make sure I dodged into them each time. If I made the mistake of dodging with them, my hitbox would be inside of them after I finished rolling, and then I'd get hit. Another thing I noticed is that for
3
the first section of
attempts
this fight, the most
for
reliable
some
way
dude
get
to
hit
one
was
shot.
use her staff as a boomerang.
Oh,
I was
Nile?
close when she did this.
You talking
I could
about
usually
the
get in
thing?
there. But yeah, this fight involved a lot of suffering on my part.
The
So
boss?
many things happened.
The one boss?
And once you drain about
The
half
commander?
her health, she starts summoning spirits to fight you. The best way to deal with this is just by running away, since they'll eventually despawn. Do keep an eye on this dragon summon though, and don't let your guard down like I did.
I killed her before she spawned the dragon, I think.
What? Eventually, I had enough though. I didn't want to get good at this game. I wanted to win. That's why I
Nitro, resubscribe for 1 month to tier 1, been subscribed for 11 months, 1 month away from getting the next thing, the next sub tier badge. 1 month. Wish you would come.
Using anything and
Let's hear
everything.
it.
Yeah, not a lot to say. This
Let's hear
is
it.
the trick.
Wish you
2
would call me
demigods
like you
down.
used to
It was time for me
LMAO.
to go to the Altus Plateau and the city of Lendl.
You
However,
called me in the middle of a
I killed
Fortnite
this
match.
draconic tree sentinel at the entrance.
What's up, man?
And he officially marks the beginning of every boss attack.
I
being
hated that
one
guy,
shot
Blood
kill for the
Summon.
rest of the game. I died a lot to this guy. I started
Yeah,
to
this
learn each
guy's
of his
hard as
attacks,
hell.
but the timing for some of them was so tight and I couldn't get it consistently. I did notice I could sneak around him to get a couple free hits in before the fight, but this didn't help too much, and my struggling continued. But this was an overworld boss, and as we established with Commander O'Neill, overworld bosses are especially susceptible to cheese strats. In this case, the answer was poison, specifically Poison Mist. You can get the Poison Mist incantation from this scarab near Castle Morn.
I'm 1 month away from
It
12.
also requires 12 faith to use.
No, you're
so I
not.
took the 2 fingers heirloom to give myself 5 extra
What are you
points.
talking about?
You can get this talisman from a chest in the Purified Ruins in Liurnia. Then I just snuck behind the Tree Sentinel and cast Poison Mist.
I don't
Funnily
believe
enough, This doesn't cause him to aggro on you. He'll just sit there slowly dying. The poison doesn't last forever though, so I needed to keep reapplying it whenever it ran out. I also noticed that there seems to be some sort of poison resistance
really?
mechanic where subsequent procs
I don't know
of
if I
poison
believe
take
it.
longer than the first. I'm not sure
I
if
don't
this
know
is a
if I
thing in
believe it.
past games, but it's pretty neat. Anyway, this took 16 minutes of me just sitting there and
16
staring at his
minutes.
horse's ass while I
Holy
waited for him to
crap.
die. Remember, don't work hard, work smart. With the Tree Sentinel dead, I was officially allowed into the city. After taking
Wow,
the sights
I
for a
can't
few
believe you
minutes,
can kill him
I
like
made my
that.
way over to the Spirit of Godfrey, and oh man, Godfrey is rough. Every one of his attacks was instant death if I missed time to dodge, and I quickly learned that his stomp move is one where you don't want to dodge away or it'll catch you every time. Thinking back to my last 2 wins, I thought maybe I could be smart and pull off some bow and arrow shenanigans by running away and jumping on this ledge here, but of course, that didn't work. I would have to actually get good and beat Godfrey for real. Or would I? There was a secret weapon I could get.
Oh
and
my
now
God,
seemed
here
like
we
the time
go.
to get it. I needed to collect 2 items first though. First, I got the incantation Fire's Deadly Sin from the cliffside of Windmill Village. Do note though that this only appears after collecting the painting inside the fortified manor in Lendl. And this does take 19 faith to use, so for the time being, I would rely on Godric's Great Rune to meet that requirement. Next, I need to get the Erd Tree Great Shield. This is a drop after killing both tree sentinels near the outer wall Phantom Tree Site of Grace.
Oh, does he do the poison thing? Oh my god.
This took 26 minutes of real time. But hey,
this guy really did it for 26 minutes, bro.
A beam cannon I could fire at will. Here's how this works. The shield has a special skill that deflects sorceries and incantations and turns them into a holy projectile attack.
What?
Funny enough, this works with the Fire's Deadly Sin incantation since the self-damage of the fire can be deflected in the same way. It's unclear if this is a glitch or just a clever interaction, but either way, it works. At first I was a little unimpressed by the damage, but then I upgraded my shield to +6 and wow, okay. 2 more things to grab.
That's insane. Renala summoned by the guy who makes you bleed. He 2-shot me.
After giving 3 death roots will completely negate the health drain from Fire's Deadly Sin. Very handy. Second, I picked up the Opaline Bubble Tier from the Erd Tree avatar on the Weeping Peninsula. This greatly reduces the damage you take for 1 hit, and it essentially gave me 1 free hit per fight instead of just dying instantly. And finally, I was ready to fight Godfrey again. This setup was extremely effective. Spirit Godfrey is apparently pretty lazy, so he'll only walk slowly, and this means I could keep my distance pretty easily. The one issue is that Fire's Deadly Sin only lasts for 40 seconds, so recasting it was a little nerve-wracking, as I needed to make sure I had enough space and time to do so. But yeah, pretty simple with this combo. It only took me 2 tries. I just made sure to dodge in whenever he did his stomp move, and then run away to build distance. Godfrey was down, and I finally got my 4th talisman slots.
That's
Next
insane.
Up was Morgoth's, or should I say Margit, because Margit's Shackle actually works on him too, in case you didn't know. This is an item you can buy from patches, and it allows you to pin Morgoth to the ground for a few seconds.
Oh,
With
he bought
plus
the
shield strat, I just blasted him. There's not much else to say. This was incredibly easy, and I beat him on my first try. With Morgoth dead, I upgraded my shield to +9, and I headed to the Forbidden Lands to fight the Fire Giant boss. This
Fire Giant, let's see, what did he do?
Does he have an absurd amount of health?
What did he do?
I also wasn't going to be able to use my shield's weapon art from horseback, so that strategy probably wasn't going to work. I did, however, use the iframes from dismounting my horse pretty frequently to avoid his really big moves. There's a trick to this guy too, though. It's kind of finicky and might take a few tries, but you can lure him up on this cliff on the right side.
You can't do that anymore.
From there, if you jump down, you can get him to follow you and fall off. This leads
no,
to
that doesn't work anymore. They patched it, bro.
With his leg breaking, and it fits so perfectly with him falling that it almost feels intentional. After that, phase 2 is pretty much the same. I just ran around him and lured him up on the same cliff, then stood back and watched him crawl off to his death. This is equally funny with him falling flat on his face.
So you can't do it this way anymore.
Next, I let Melina burn the Erd Tree and then woke up in Ohio. Running around here was especially fun because even a sneeze from the small enemies would kill me. And then I made it to the Godskin Duo.
Oh yeah, these guys.
This is a boss that people hate even on normal playthroughs. Even if you're fully leveled, it's still hard.
This one wasn't too bad for me. I'll be honest. I just hated all the
across dozens and dozens of attempts.
Death
there wasn't any simple trick to make this easier.
Bro, if you've already faced the Godskin Duo beforehand, which I did,
so without the Great Rune,
it's too easy.
15 faith. I could get 3 from Marika's Scar Seal, but that still left me 1 point.
He is.
Fortunately, the Commoner's Garb chest piece gives a single point of faith when wearing it, and you can get this as a rare drop from the Grey Guys in Stormvale Castle. So there we go. I had 19 faith and didn't need Great Runes anymore. And hey, if I'm gonna wear a shirt, I might as well put on some pants and a helmet too. As for the fight itself, it was just a lot of pain. My main strategy was to keep my distance between myself and the duo whenever possible, and rely on the pillars to create buffers as well. I'd usually try to take out the big one first, but this was tough because his roll move kept getting me. However, I found that if I lined myself up just right, I could get him stuck on one of the broken pillars.
Oh, he couldn't summon anybody in
it was also
because he didn't do it.
Reapply the fire incantation since casting it was
so makes slow. Fire Giant joking this later.
To stay patient and learn from each death.
Because you can't do it
anymore. One of them was
anymore.
about half dead. They'd get stronger moves with more range. So I tried to keep the pressure up to deal with this as little as possible. After probably 40 attempts, I got it. For the first time in the whole run,
40
I felt like I
attempts?
really earned this one. Riding that wave of happiness, I fought the Draconic Tree Sentinel on the Great Bridge and beat him. No poison mist necessary this time.
Wow.
I was feeling good. I was feeling confident.
So you
then
faced
I got to the
Makala,
Beast
or
Clergyman
Malekith.
slash Malekith.
Yeah,
It's hard to describe
Malekith.
how much pain this fight
Ridiculous.
caused me. I genuinely thought I'd have to end my run here. First of all, he seems to have pretty high
Working
holy
for everyone?
resistance, which was
I'll try in a
my only
minute.
source of damage with the shield. Naturally, every move is a one-shot, and after about 5 tries, I eventually made it to his second phase. But man, I died so fast in that second phase. It was one of those deaths that was so quick that the thought of the effort that would be necessary
I'll
to
try and
actually
play
beat
it in a
this
little
guy
bit, it's fine.
made me want to take a nap. So I asked myself, was there anything I could do to make this easier? The answer was yes. There was an obvious tool I'd been ignoring up until now: spirit summoning. The question, however, was which spirit to go with. The obvious answer seems like the Mimic, since it's usually a powerhouse, but remember that the Mimic
You're
summon
level
inherits
1.
all of your stats,
Yeah.
so I felt like a level 1 Mimic was actually
Not gonna
the
do
worst choice I
anything,
could make.
yeah.
Instead, I decided to go with Black Knife Tish. After watching a few videos on the subject, she seemed like a very solid choice.
She's
because
alright.
She has this black
Not
flame
great.
debuff that she can inflict, and it just melts bosses under the right
Yeah,
conditions.
kind
Only
of.
one problem though.
Some
I
of
needed
them.
to essentially complete Ronnie's entire quest line to reach
Yep.
the location where I could get this summon and upgrade it all the way. That includes killing Radahn and a few other bosses. I won't go into detail for this whole process since it honestly wasn't that hard, just time consuming. But after a couple hours, I reached the Everjail that held the Black Knife ringleader who I needed to kill to get
Lordy, I gotta
summon.
make money
Let's see how
somehow,
that fight
bro.
went.
You know what I mean? Listen, dog. I gotta do the ads, bro. You gotta understand your boy needs the extra cash. Boy needs some extra quiche. Okay? So the ads gotta stay.
Pretty good. So I got her, upgraded
If you
her,
sub,
and was
no
ready to test her
ads.
out. But oh no, she requires
essentially paid for your
132
abs.
FP to summon. I only
Ads,
had like
not
70.
abs.
Did I just
You
make
don't
a
pay
huge
for your
mistake?
abs.
Nope. It turns out you can use the Cerulean Hidden Tier with your Flask of Wondrous Physic. This removes the FP cost of everything for 10 seconds, and apparently even applies to spells or summons that you didn't have enough FP for in the first
Smart
place,
man.
which was very lucky for me in this scenario. Back
God.
to Malakath. My immediate impression was that Tish was helpful, but not quite as helpful as I was expecting.
I can't
In order for her
remember.
to get any
This ain't no
damage
Apex.
off,
I
basically
know.
had to keep aggro on
Was
myself
trying
the
to
entire
play
fight.
Apex.
Another quirk to this fight, sometimes it'll look like Tish is doing more
And,
damage than
I
she
guess it
actually
was
is.
down or
The flame
something.
attack does damage over time in addition to stealing extra HP on top of that. But the boss will recover that second bit of stolen HP when the burning wears off. So that's why Malakath's health
Thank you,
will jump
Laurie.
up from time to time. Phase 1 eventually became easy. I realized I could block most attacks if he got close, so I just need to back away and keep firing off at him. Phase 2 was the real issue. His attacks are big, quick, and blocking wasn't an option due to chip damage. He also has this one move where he'll flip toward me and do a
Yep.
massive slashing AoE.
Yep.
For the longest time, I kept trying to dodge away or run away, but it would never work. Eventually, I figured out you could just dodge into him with precise timing and get behind him to be safe. And again, I needed to keep aggro because Tish would just get eviscerated if she had his attention for more than 5 seconds.
Yep.
Tensions got high. Oh, kill him! Kill him! No!
Yeah, she doesn't kill him. I had the same problem. It's like I was dying, and then
But
it
in
was
the
just
end,
like, yeah,
my
I'll
patience
let
paid
him
off,
live.
and I got him. I
Why?
didn't keep track of how many times I died, but 50 feels about right. It was time for
50.
the final area.
Jesus.
First up was Sir Gideon. When you first find him, he stands still and monologues at you. He'll only do this on the first attempt, so I really wanted to capitalize on this and get some free damage in. And lucky me, this guy was a complete joke and a much needed palate cleanser after Malakath. The fight was over in about 20 seconds. Next up was Godfrey, the first Elden Lord.
All right, let's see,
Unlike his
Godfrey.
spirit form from before, he actually likes to dash around and is
Oh,
much
yeah.
harder. While he was probably about as hard as Malakath, something about this fight felt more fair to me. There was
Yeah.
a rhythm to this fight that I was never able
Yeah.
to truly find with Malakath.
Truth.
His moves were all telegraphed very clearly,
Truth.
and while the timing for avoiding some of them was tight, I felt
Yep.
like I could do this.
Yep.
The first thing I noticed was that
He's
he walks
absolutely
toward me
right.
very slowly at the beginning, so I had enough time to do my whole buff routine after stepping inside the arena rather than before. As part of that routine, I added the skill from the Commander Standard Halberd, which was dropped from Commander O'Neill. This provides a 20% boost to damage and defense. I could have been using this earlier, but I just didn't think to do so. It can also affect allies who are close by, but Tish typically didn't stay still long
Yeah,
enough to
Tish
receive the
Tish
buff.
just runs
Next,
up in
the
him.
most reliable attack pattern I found to deal damage was to bait him to dash forward and stomp, then I'd roll into it, get behind him, and then run away. From there, he could do a few different things, but a lot of the time he'd do a side dodge and then a second stomp. This was all free damage though, since I was far enough away that this stomp couldn't hit me. Then, if I was lucky, I could just repeat that loop. The other big thing I noticed in phase 1 is that after dealing about a third of his health bar, he'd do a huge
did,
stomp
yeah,
with
the
a
huge
shockwave
stomp,
of
yeah.
the entire arena. Then, for the rest of phase 1, he would just keep doing these unavoidable giant stomps.
Yeah.
This was a problem if I was too slow and my fire buff ran out, since it was impossible to recast it without dying. So I needed to be quick enough and deal damage consistently enough to prevent this from happening. Eventually, I got pretty decent at phase 1, so let's talk about
Nice.
phase 2. It's
Yeah, I already beat
a
it.
little intense.
AI for summons are dumb, I know.
No!
Did he get him? Oh, snap, bro.
My main strategy was to run away immediately, recast the fire incantation, and then just blast him and pray that
That
Tish carries
had
the
to
weight, too. He has so many
made-
quick and massive
Like,
attacks,
he had to be
and it's
so
just pretty
angry
overwhelming. I
at
died
this
so many
game
times.
to
And
be
then,
a
finally,
level
I
1
got
the
it. I'm
whole
not gonna lie,
time.
I just got super lucky. I somehow broke his stance at the beginning of phase 2. Just
Nice.
kept spamming attacks, and it was enough. Just barely. With Godfrey down, it was time for Radagon, the final boss. Radagon is a really fun fight on a normal playthrough. He has a varied and challenging moveset, and it's just a fun spectacle to see him fly around and smash
Yeah,
stuff.
it was a
On
pretty
level
cool
1
fight.
character though,
Yeah,
It's
probably
painful.
not. Yeah.
So many moves are so quick. I kept dying, and while I got close a few times, I didn't feel like I was able to establish.
I'm glad
any
he's
sort
so
of
humble about
consistency
it, bro.
in the
Because,
ways I
like,
had with
honestly,
NINJAFROMABOVE.
I'd be
It was
so
rough.
mad.
And you know, at this point, I was pretty much ready to give up. I'd already made it farther than I expected, and it didn't really seem like there was a solution to this fight, aside from just extreme precision and actually getting good, which was not the point of this run. That's what I thought,
Oof.
but then my friend mentioned a trick to me. Apparently, if you hit Radagon right as the fight starts and he's still turning around, he'll bug out and his AI will break. He'll freeze and he won't attack you. From there, you can slowly kill him. This is finicky though. Attacks from melee weapons or certain spells will unfreeze him, but if you just use a bow or the Carrion Slicer spell, he should stay still. I opted for a mix between Carrion Slicer and Poison Mist. And one more important note, breaking his stance will also unfreeze him. So when I got him down to about half health, I would wait for a minute or so he could recover his invisible stance meter. This process was painfully slow on a level 1 character, but hey, I'll take consistency over speed, and I was willing to use any trick. And then, finally, Radagon was dead.
Are you serious?
In the game. Of course not, I'm just kidding. It's a 2-for-1 boss fight. Elden Beast, aka the bane of my existence. I hate this guy. He's actually the worst.
It wasn't even that
I'm not
hard.
mad. Why do you think I'm mad? Also, every time I wanted to even attempt this fight, I had to go through the whole process of slowly killing Radagon each time. Before I get into the details of the fight, I want to highlight 2 more tools I added to help out. First was the Ash of War, Royal Knight's
It's probably
Resolve.
patched.
The way
Yeah,
this is
there's no
supposed to
way.
work is it lasts 10 seconds and increases the weapon's next hit by 80%. However, it seems that it actually increases all of your damage by 80% for 10 seconds, regardless of the source.
This was just
So for
patched
example,
out.
you could use this skill on a weapon in your offhand, then switch back to your main weapon to get an 80% damage boost. In this case, this meant my Ice Stomp could do 80% more damage. Not only that, but it lasts for more than one hit using this method, so I could get multiple stomps in during that 10-second window. The second tool I added was the Bloodhound Step Ash of War. This is essentially a
Man,
powered
my
version of
my
quick
dude
step,
did
and I
so
put it on
much
my dagger so I could
research.
more
He
easily
did
dodge
so
attacks
much
where I just had
research
to run around. Now,
just to
back
get
to the
it.
fight. This guy will always start the fight with a Fire Breath attack. And if you're quick, you can get around 6 Ice Stomps in. I also use Royal Knight's Resolve right as phase 1 ended to get extra damage in. From here, he basically always does this ring move, but it's pretty easy to avoid with Bloodhound Step. Then he has a bunch more moves.
It's easy to avoid
There's
anyway.
one that I could just not figure out. This
That one?
goddamn homing
Just
orb.
run away from
It's
it.
a homing orb that will follow you for roughly
Just run
20
away.
seconds. And it has a bunch of smaller orbs orbiting around it. The best part is it seems to move faster than you can. Rolling
Just
away,
run
running
away.
Bloodhound stepping away. It didn't
What?
seem to matter. I got hit every
Well, I
time.
guess his
I could not
stamina
find a
is
single
really
video of a
low.
person avoiding this attack entirely. On a normal playthrough, this isn't a huge
Watch
issue,
my
so you can
video,
just
you'll
tank
see it.
but for me on my
I
level
ran
1
right
character,
around that thing.
I got
Never
close a
hit
few
me.
times. I really did, but the homing orb was just too awful.
Now, I
couldn't
never
do
had
it,
those
and I was cool with
those
calling
things
it.
shot at
I
me.
was proud of how far I made it, and it had overall been a pretty fun
Oh,
time.
he ended
But
it
was
there?
one
He
more
didn't make
tool I
it?
hadn't used yet. This is a tool that FromSoft makes available to every build and every character.
Furled finger. Oh, co-op? Really? Oh my god.
Yep, I summoned a friend to help me. Is this in the spirit of an actual challenge run? No, of course not. But that's not really what this video is. I wanted to showcase all the tools, glitches, and exploits that can be used by a level 1 character to beat the game. And technically, getting a friend to help is one of them.
I mean,
Could do
yeah,
this on my own?
sure.
Probably yes, but it would have taken
It would have taken
many
forever, yeah.
hours. And believe it or not, I'm not a masochist. I'll leave Elden
I'm
Beast
not
to
a
people who
masochist.
are actually good at this game. However, if you're cool with seeing shenanigans from someone who's not quite at that level, consider subscribing because I'll be making more Elden Ring videos. Thanks for watching and have a good one.
That's crazy. Good job, man. Good for him. He did it. Whoop. Didn't mean to click on that. Did it. Good job, bro.
If I were to ask you guys, what is the hardest boss in Elden Ring? I'm pretty sure the majority
Margit.
of people would say Melania. However, that is far from
Yeah.
true. What if I told you that there was a boss even worse than Melania? A boss that is extremely missable. However, if you did find it, you'd be stuck on it. Those who have been cursed by the very gods themselves to be so unfortunate that they come across this boss have actually quit the game because this boss caused them so much.
Is he talking
pain
about the
and suffering.
two-headed
And what if
dragon,
I
bro?
told you
That
this
dragon was
boss
easy.
is accessible right when you start the game. After you die from the first boss in the game, you black out and wake up in a cave. Melina and Torrent do unspeakable, horrific acts to your blacked out character. Later, you're left on your own to find a way out of the cave and explore the world. It is at this very moment where your fate is decided. The majority of people who are lucky enough to live in ignorant bliss go forward towards the door. Through that door is an elevator that goes to another door, and when that door is
What is up
opened,
with his
the
face?
happiest man on the planet, and you are exposed to the beautiful world that is the lands between. And then there's
What
the few who are unlucky enough to have noticed that there is a path on the right side. Little do those poor souls know is that down that hole lies a behemoth. When you first jump down that hole, you're tricked into thinking that, oh, it's just a tutorial area. Unfortunately for you, this is a FromSoft game. Everyone knows there's no tutorials. It's all part of a sick joke made by Miyazaki. He wants you to think that it is a normal tutorial area, but little do you know, you're playing right into his trap. With nowhere else to go, nowhere to turn, you are forced to go down farther and farther into the cave until eventually you see it. The Soldier of Godric. This is the menace, the demon that feasts on the very hopes and dreams of man. If you are one of those poor unfortunate souls who are somehow stuck, totally reasonably stuck on Soldier of Godric, I'm gonna show you an easy way to get past this madman.
Look at how high his health bar is. What is he talking about, bro? He's definitely got
So
gear
the
and
first thing
stuff.
you want to do is pick the most honest and balanced
Samurai.
class in Elden Ring.
Yes.
The samurai. You don't want to pick anything too broken like the wretch, otherwise you would have not only cheated the game, but you would have also cheated yourself. Once you have created your masterpiece of a character,
Oh,
you don't want
okay.
to
Yeah.
spawn in and die. You don't want to waste any of your energy on a grafted Skion. Remember the reason you're playing this game. You're not playing this game for fun. You're not playing this game to explore the world. Your one and only goal is to beat the Soldier of Godric. Anyways, your next course of action is to simp for Melina. Gotta get that horse somehow.
Have you heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve the two fingers.
So stupid. What do you
Once
mean?
you get the cool ass horse, you're gonna want to go and hunt down
Why do you make
Saitama
that so
One Punch
loud?
Man. The reason you're gonna kill the bald man is because once you get his bell, you can buy 3 golden feet. Remember, this is a FromSoft game, so feet make you stronger.
So stupid. No pawn.
Would you look at that? He was actually right. You can't harm a yielding man. After acquiring the scrumptious feat, you're gonna want to head to the Third Church of Marika. If you didn't know, near the Third Church of Marika
What
lies
the
a
hell?
forest, and inside that forest lies a mini Erd tree, and beneath that Erd tree lies a legendary Ash of War, one worthy enough of taking down the Soldier of Godric.
Oh my
if the
God,
Soldier
please
of Godric
kill
was
that thing.
Superman,
You're killing
this
it.
would be his kryptonite. Of course, this Ash of War that I'm talking about is Ground Slam. What'd you think I was talking about? Now that you have acquired a weapon
Ground
strong enough to take down the Soldier of Godric, your next step is to get stronger. That's right, I'm talking about a full anime training montage. Right now, you are weak. You are puny and you are pathetic. You're about as worthy of wielding Ground Slam as a summer ant would be. So get to it.
Why won't you die?
My dude really went right for it, huh?
In response to the physical trauma.
Are you serious? He doesn't even have any type of bleed effects on.
Can't hurt
It's gonna take him forever. Okay, alright, how long is this? Come on. I understand. Holy crap. Who's he going to fight? What?
Is that seriously the best you got? You think you're gonna beat Soldier of Godric like that? Soldier of Godric has way more maidens than you. Get better, nerd. You're fucking pathetic.
Am I being mean to my coach? Why? What happened?
Now, with all the runes you gained, you should have dumped everything into strength, and with Radagon's Sword Seal on, you have a whopping 50 strength.
Jesus,
now that you
bro,
are
you don't
physically
need-
prepared and have
You don't need
ample
50 strength.
there is one last item.
Oh my
you need.
god.
What is a man without
Oh
faith?
my god,
A
he's
Moonveil
really
user.
doing all
Those
this.
who live without faith will never
This is killing
be
me.
Soldier of Godric. You will be using a blessing from Queen Marika herself. Golden
What?
Vow. Once you have acquired Golden Vow, you will finally be ready to take on the Soldier of Godric. All your hard work, all the blood, sweat, and tears you poured into your character, it will finally pay off. No longer will the Soldier of Godric's tyranny rain down upon this land, because you alone will finally put an end to the Soldier of Godric's ruckus. Now go. You know what you have to do.
What's he gonna go in there and one-shot her? $121 for gas. I flat out told her today at the teacher lounge to give it to me on Monday. Nah, you ain't being mean. She was being an ass the other day. Screw it. I want my money. You didn't bring the guy with the break the kneecaps that I told you to bring? He's just gonna one-shot this boss. Yep.
You did it. You beat the Soldier of Godric. Congrats. Your reward? A very rare and exclusive emote.
Oh my god. Oh my god. You do not have to do all that to beat the Soldier of
Description
Godric.
is the
I
title.
want everybody to know that.
Versus every single boss fight in Elden Ring. If there's a duo fight I didn't include, it's because
Am I really watching this right now? I've beaten every boss in Elden Ring. Am I really doing this? I borrow a baseball bat from PE class. That's what I'm talking about. Take the bus. That's right. Sorry to take the bus. But you can't pay for your gas? Go take a bus. Lordy, am I really watching this one? I've beaten every boss in this game. I feel like this is unnecessary for me. Extremely unnecessary for me. I've beaten every boss. Every single one. Beat him. Beat him. Beat him. Beat him. Just for your playlist? I've already beat him. Just blow the one in the gas station. That's what I'm talking about, bro. True. Man, you guys are the best. That's what it is, bro. Who's the boss you struggled on? Alright, let's see. I struggled on... Fire Giant.
only use torrent to close distance. You have very limited
Yep,
evasion
I already
options on
know
horseback,
that one.
especially when
You
he
get
uses
off
his
and then you
second
hit
phase and
him.
starts shooting even more projectiles. It's easier
Yep.
to just dodge them outright and summon torrent if you want to reposition,
Yep.
such as catching up to him when he rolls. If you have a magic build, just keep shooting at his head until it dies. If you
Okay, that's not... Yeah. That's easy. I already got that. Alright, where's, what's his name? Margit. I had the most problem that I had was Margit. Is it in alphabetical order? Margit.
Patches in Murkwater Cave, and he'll sell you Margit's Shackle if you find his campsite near the Scenic Isle in Liurnia. He can also stop you from healing by throwing a knife and leaping towards you with his giant stick thing. So if you need to heal and you're mid-range, always wait until his combo is actually finished before you heal. Walk into the arena.
That's not a helpful tip. You never know when his crap is done. What about this one?
To dodge it. If he spawns 3 projectiles in the
Malika.
Of most of his standard attacks. You can tell his weird judgment cut attack thing is coming by the glow of his sword, but it's not as likely to hit you if you dodge forward past the hitbox.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know the forward thing. I didn't know about the forward thing. I wish I would have known that. When it comes down to that slice and dice move that he does, just go forward. Wish I would have known that. How about Moog? What's a good?
Weak to blood damage, so
I beat this guy off camera, so you guys didn't get to see. But I did beat this guy off camera, and I wanted to see, like, what I could have done differently, because you see this red ring that you get around your character? It makes bleed damage after a while, right? So it gives you, eventually you get 3 rings around you, and then he does this, like, prayer where, like, the whole room goes red, and it just hits you with, like, 3 counts of bleed real quick. Enough to kill you, like, in one shot.
Weapon like the Reduvia or Eleonora's Pole Blade can excel here. If you have the Purifying Crystal tier, you have a huge opportunity
Purifying
to do damage
Crystal.
during his Blood Curse animation.
Yes, that's it.
He's weaker to slash damage than other physical types.
Because what I ended up doing is I ended up just downing health flasks, like, throughout the whole summoning thing he was just talking about. So while he was, like, praying and making me have bleed, I was just pounding back heals. I think I ended up using almost all my heals on that. And eventually me and my mimic killed him, but I was really mad at that fight.
Dodge to the right when he charges you with a spear.
Easy.
Because he follows it up with a sword swipe that will almost always catch you on the left side. Make
And
a habit
then
of rolling forward into his blood slashes, and you can still use Margit's Shackle on him twice in the first phase. Garrus does lots of damage with his flail, but with a heavy enough attack, you should be able to stun him out of combos with relative
He was
ease.
easy.
Do
I
not use
one-shot
the
that
sword
guy.
block because Garrus is programmed to hit you with a critical if your guard is broken. The Knight's Cavalry is weak to
Radagon,
there
we go. Red Wolf Radagon. This guy was hard.
Melee and magic together to make attacks as uncomfortable
Alright,
to
let's
dodge as
see.
possible. If you run parallel to how the glint blades are lined up, you can just continue running and they'll most
Let's see,
likely
I already
fly
know
past you,
that.
saving your roll for when the wolf lunges at you. The Regal Spirit.
That's it? What about all the other attacks? Can I have another tip?
Is an AoE.
This one's
meaning it's
easy.
directly proportional to how many spirits are in its vicinity. Get
Queen
it
of
to
the
around
Full
half health,
Moon,
and then boom raise into
easy.
an area that doesn't have as many spirit
Rune
elements
Bear,
to let you
easy.
heal.
Rykard,
Builds are
easy.
king in this fight because Renala's physical defenses are absolute trash. At the beginning of her second phase, run straight
Oh my
through
God,
as she charges with a
Rex,
common attack and
Thunder,
roll right to
Throw.
avoid it and sink in a couple hits.
Tree Sentinel. Alright, so I had some problems with Tree Sentinels. I wonder what he has as a quick.
Charges at you and leaps at you with his halberd. He'll almost
Oh,
always
not Tree
follow up
Sentinels.
with
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the wrong thing. What are those big tree people? Who are the big tree people? What are they called? You guys know what they're called? I know he's got to have them. No. Here it is. Erd Tree Avatar.
dodge through them. Burn it to the ground. Extremely weak.
His one tip is to burn it. I know that. But what happens if you don't have fire? Which was my problem. But yeah, that's about it for that. So good stuff.